Hi, I'm Molly Kowalski, and I'm the Nature Preschool Coordinator for the Park Ridge Park District. In 2009, we opened our Nature Preschool at Wildwood Nature Center. In 2017, we expanded our program with two new classrooms at Main Park. Originally, we only offered one-day options at the Nature Center, but when we expanded to Main Park, we were able to offer multi-day options.
Hi, and thank you for joining us for the virtual program tour for Nature Preschool and Nature Play School. I'm Jenny Clausen, the Wildwood Nature Center Supervisor, and you'll also be hearing from Molly Kowalski, our program naturalist that oversees Nature Preschool, Nature Play School, and Kindergarten Capers, and Kara Rufo, our other program naturalist that oversees youth programming, our 2s and 3s programming, group programs, and community programs. During our virtual tour, we'll cover the benefits to nature education and outdoor play, the differences between Nature Preschool and Nature Play School, our learning objectives for the program, our classroom spaces, a daily overview of what happens each day during our program, our curriculum themes and topics for the year, and our special days. As I'm sure most of you know, nature has lots of benefits. We especially see that in children and adults, and we definitely see it in our programs. So we'll just kind of run through some of the different aspects that have been proven to benefit your children. So one of the things that's definitely a benefit for kids is a boosted immune system. So being in the mud and the sand, the dirt, the snow, and just being outdoors in fresh air, and also air that might have, different pollen and different things in it, just helps stimulate the immune system and also builds it up. So that means that children are better at fighting different diseases or different sicknesses, and they tend to get sick less often because their immune system has been exposed to so many things naturally that their body's already building up a defense to all the things that might come in contact. Kids are also more physically active in an outdoor program. That just comes with not sitting at a desk or not sitting at a table as much. They're out running around and encouraged to run around. And so because there's all this increased physical activity, they're also less likely to be overweight. One of the other benefits is reducing the amount of stress and being better able to cope with stress that happens to be in your life. A lot of these studies more pertain to adults, but it's also seen in children. So just having that freedom, being in the sunshine, the fresh air, the wind blowing through your hair, all of that tends to de-stress you, help you relax a little bit more, and just be in a more calm state of being. And with that, there's also lower incidence of behavior disorders like anxiety and depression. And there's also a higher measure of self-worth, which comes with being, active and connected to their natural worlds. One of the things we also see on a regular basis is that play is more diverse. So the children have more options to create, be imaginative, use teamwork to solve problems, because things aren't, black and white outside. Sticks can be wands, sticks can be all kinds of things. And so because they aren't a defined function, then the children get to use their imaginations to create things. And then as a group, they'll create things together and play off each other's ideas. So it really improves those language skills and how to communicate with your team, and those collaboration skills, trying to create new games and tasks and conquests with all the things that nature gives you. So one of the other benefits of nature is negotiating risk and risk assessment, which is something we talk about a lot, not necessarily in those terms with the kids, but definitely as a teaching team and in the field. So risk sounds scary, but it's actually not a concept that's scary, and it's something that's really important for them to develop. So when we talk about risk assessment and the benefits and how children are navigating that, how they do it in our program is they tend to climb on things, climb over things, and work together with their peers. And so one of the things that you'll see them naturally recognize is their ability and what is safe. So if we don't give them chances to jump up a little log and realize that that was fine, climbing up something that's 3 inches tall and jumping off of it was perfectly safe. And when you did that, you didn't get hurt. And when you did it, it was fun. And you saw your friends doing it. So then that helps reinforce that, yes, you can do it. and that, yes, it's something that's safe to do. So when they see other things that height, they know that that's kind of a safe height. And then they'll keep exploring, something that's maybe a little higher, and do they feel safe doing that? And sometimes we'll climb over down trees, and then some kids that are more familiar or maybe even more outgoing tend to do those things quicker, where some kids that tend to worry more about their risk take those things a little slower, but over time they see their peers doing it and they'll take steps to do it, maybe holding a teacher's hand to do it, seeing if that felt safe, and then doing it eventually on their own. So it's just a way to build confidence, and it helps teach them what things are the proper height to jump off of, and what things, once you climb up them, that they are scary, and you know that they're scary and not appropriate because you have taken all those steps beforehand to know that when you did it this way, it was safe, and when you did it this way, it doesn't feel safe. So those are what we kind of talk about when we're assessing risk, and having those challenges and those experiences really help them learn what they're capable of doing. So it's a huge benefit that you can even see, because our program is a 2-year program. You can see some children more timid to do things when they're 3, which is natural, and they're still learning, and they're the first year in our program. And then by the time they're a senior member in the program, then they're running faster, jumping off things they did in their first year, and feeling more comfortable in their setting, because they've experienced it all and they've tested everything out. Because there's so much collaboration and teamwork and imaginative play, the children are naturally talking to each other and incorporating each other into their games and sharing their experiences and working with their peers to complete projects or tasks. So because of all the collaboration and teamwork, there's definitely more positive feelings about their classmates. So they feel more connected as a group, and they are more supportive of each other because they work together so frequently and so often, kind of like a little work group. And also, when children are exposed to nature-based play environments, there tends to be less bullying behavior. And again, a lot of that has to do with being outdoors and kind of having some ownership into their own play. And then because of the contact in nature, they also see less symptoms associated with ADD or attention deficit disorder. We find that with our older kids as well, a lot of children that maybe have trouble sitting still in a classroom or trouble focusing in for an extended period of time typically do better in a more natural outdoor setting, usually because things are a little more like flexible and able to flow a little bit different outdoors as opposed to indoors. And then also with the other things like reducing stress and being more part of a team, all those things sort of help make it happen as a whole. And then also one of the things that we like to stress is the more connected you are to nature as a child, the better connected to nature you will be as an adult. And we hope to create lifelong nature stewards, so children that love nature as a kid and therefore want to save it as an adult, and also want to bring those nature experiences towards their children. So we hope it's a continuous cycle of fully living in the earth and loving it. And then we get a lot of questions about nature preschool versus nature play school. So they're very similar, but there's also some big differences. So I know that Molly Kowalski talked a little bit about how our program originally began. So it originally began as a one-day program, just because the space we had at the Nature Center at the time and the other programs we were offering, we really only had space to do a one-day program. So we started off as a one-day program on a day that we were closed, which was Friday. And then we expanded it to a Monday, which is the other day that the Nature Center is closed to the public. So we had these one-day, Monday and Friday options. When we got more space over at Main Park, then we expanded the program to be a multi-day, but we wanted to still keep the one-day options. So that's basically why there's two different names, is we wanted to differentiate the two different programs so people didn't get confused. So Nature Preschool is the multi-day program. So the traditional Monday, Wednesday, Friday, AM, Tuesday, Thursday, PM, the children come multiple days a week and see the same teachers in the same class group. So Nature Preschool is the multi-day program. And with that multi-day program, throughout the year, I think like the Monday, Wednesday, Friday, children meet almost 100 times. So because it's the same group from September through May, meeting 3 days a week, that adds up to a lot of time. And so with the group that's there for multiple days a week, they really can dive deep into a topic and build off what they learned the previous day or the previous week, and take a topic really into depth, so they can learn all the different aspects about it and what they're interested in about it. With the one-day program, Nature Play School, those students, we do a Monday AM, Wednesday AM, a Friday AM, and a Friday PM. But everyone signs up as an individual day. So some kids only sign up for Monday, some kids maybe sign up for Wednesday and Friday, some kids sign up for Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So each day of the week, there's a different group of kids, even though some of those kids might overlap. Like if someone signed up for Monday and Friday and another kid signed up for Wednesday and Friday, they'd see each other every Friday, but they'd see different kids on the other days. So each day is kind of a unique class. And because of that, they cover the same themes and topics as Nature Preschool. But if someone wasn't there on Monday, then on Wednesday, you can't necessarily build off what you learned on Monday if not everyone was there. So they kind of build on their topics a little slower, or each day is kind of its own complete class versus continuation of a class from one day to the next when you have kids coming every day. And then because Nature Preschool, the multi-day program, meets so often, their teachers are exposed to those kids a lot, and they have a better understanding of their growth and their knowledge. So what we can do with Nature Preschool is that we do parent-teacher conferences. So we'll do one in the spring, and we'll do one in the fall, and the teacher can meet with the parents. It's an optional thing if the parents would like, and discuss their child's progress and ask any questions about their child in the program. With Nature Play School, those kids just aren't there enough. With fall and Mondays, I think there's like 4 different holidays on a Monday in the fall, and so those kids maybe only meet 11 times from September to December. So there's not enough time to really develop, a plan for your child, or to have really in-depth knowledge about their growth when you don't see them as frequently. So we typically don't do conferences with the Nature Play School children. We do them with the Nature Preschool children. And then because Nature Preschool, again, meets so often, they also have a monthly newsletter that goes out. And then their meeting locations are different for the 2 different programs. So they're both in Main Park in our preschool wing, but Nature Preschool meets in the Hickory room, and Nature Play School meets in the Walnut room. The learning objectives are pretty similar to most preschools. So some of the things that we're focusing on are gross and fine motor skills, which are our large movements and our small movements. Like I already talked about, our risk assessment. So that means determining whether things are safe or not safe. And a lot of that is by taking those little steps to figure out if those big steps are safe. One of the other things we're doing is learning through play. So like I mentioned also to, some of the more imaginative things, using our natural objects to come up with their own ideas. We want to develop our lifelong learners, turning those children who love nature into adults that love nature, and hopefully grandparents that love nature, and fostering a love of the environment and nature. So learning to love our plants and our animals, and learning how they fit into the world, and how they impact animals and how they impact people. And so just the overall importance of nature and the world around us. One of the ways we do that is using all of our 5 senses. So we're definitely interacting with nature, touching it, smelling it. We do a lot of things before COVID that involved eating. So we'd make our own applesauce during our apple harvest unit. We smash up and smush all around pumpkins, and then we bake and eat the seeds. Different ways that we can use all of our senses to learn about the world around us. And then we're also wanting to make sure we're growing as a person. So being socially aware, how do we interact with our peers, and how do we know when our peers are upset or when we're upset, growing as a person and as a classmate with our friends, playing with them cooperatively, problem solving, and doing that through play and language and cooperation and teamwork. And then with all of those things we're exposed to, that builds kind of a rich and complex language. So they have more words in their vocabulary and ways to express themselves because they've learned all about, the technical names for trees or birds, or even the scientific names for cockroaches or earthworms. And then we're also incorporating a lot of mathematical skills. So guessing the weight of a pumpkin and then figuring out what a pumpkin actually does weigh. Guessing how many seeds might be inside it, and then actually counting those in units of 10 to get the whole number. Rolling dice to add different things to what we're doing and counting the dice numbers, counting the number of planets and things like that, and learning about spatial awareness. And then also learning some of the physics lessons like gravity, or we also have launched pumpkins into the pond and see what happens with displacement with the water. So talking about those things, but in just an organic way, kind of exploring the cause and effect, and then trying to figure out why that happens. And when we jump in the puddle, what's going to happen with the puddle? And it's going to get our clothes all wet. But what happens? Like your body went in and the water went out. And so just kind of learning all those things, using all of our senses, and then discussing them, how they relate to the scientific world and to the nature world. So all those things we're working on, both inside and outside. Most of the time, the kids don't even know we're working on those things.
Next, we'll take you on our tour through our classroom spaces. Our 2 indoor classroom locations are at Main Park. We utilize 1 classroom for nature preschool and 1 classroom for nature play school. Inside, we've got little tables and chairs, perfect for the kids, nature-themed rugs, arts and craft supplies, manipulatives, puppets, puzzles, small climbing logs, and a child-sized sink and a child-sized restroom. Outdoors, we gather in our outdoor classroom spaces. These are adjacent to our indoor classroom spaces, so children can flow in and out to use the restroom or wash their hands. In our outdoor spaces, we have art easels and climbing logs, picnic tables to utilize tabletop activities, and lots of tools for outdoor play. Once we're ready to leave our outdoor space, we typically head first to the sled hill, so either leaving the Main Park location or the Wildwood wood chips. It looks like a far distance to walk, but it's actually only the length of a soccer field and the length of a baseball field. So when we run and play red light, green light, it usually takes us less than a minute to get from one space to the next. At the sled hill, there's lots of fun things to do. In the wintertime, we like to sled. We like to draw pictures, letters, and shapes in the sands and dirts at the baseball diamonds. We like to chase our friends down the hill, roll down the hill, roll pumpkins down the hill, throw leaves at each other, and of course, more sledding. Next, we leave the sled hill and head to Sam's observation deck. This deck overlooks our prairie and is a great space to meet, run up and down the ramp, and make up lots of imaginative games. Then we head to our labyrinth and our willow tree. The willow tree is right next to the ponds, and the kids love to play under its branches, check out the insect holes, and see what's happening in the ponds. It's also the perfect size for our kids to climb up and into, and jump off the logs and swing from the branches. They also enjoy the labyrinth located next to the willow, which is a winding path all the way in and all the way out, which the kids love to follow. Around the backside of the pond, we head to the secret playgrounds, which isn't actually a playground at all, well, at least not in the traditional sense. Our secret playground is just a little hill on the backside of the ponds, but it's kind of secret location that not a lot of people know about. So it's one of our places that we kind of call ours and convince the kids that it's our little secret. Back there, we can climb up and down the hill and check out the ducks around the ponds. Then we make our way between the 2 ponds and head to the fishing deck. The fishing deck is the perfect place to look over the whole entire pond. We like to throw sticks in and see if they sink or float, see what the ducks are doing, what other animals might be visiting, see the raindrops splash into the ponds, launch pumpkins in the pond to see if they float or sink, and just enjoy the seasonal changes of the ponds throughout the year. Then we head over to the fishing rocks. The fishing rocks are another great place to sit and watch the ponds. It's also a good place to touch the ice as it slopes gently in and it's not a deep area. Another thing we like to find here are tadpoles. Then we make our way through the prairie. Walking through the prairie is a great time. The flowers grow taller and taller as the year goes by. And it's a great place to find muddy puddles. Next, we head to the campfire circle. The campfire circle is a great place to warm up. We also enjoy a seasonal campfire where we talk about fire safety, make our campfire, and have s'mores. Over next to the campfire circle is also our human sundial, so we can use our shadows to tell time. Finally, we head down the woodland trail. The woodland trail is a small trail that runs along the north side of the Nature Center building. It's home to lots of trees and lots of wildflowers in the spring, so it's a great little hike to check out throughout the seasons to see what's popping up. And that takes us last to our pavilion. The pavilion is where we eat snack. It's also another great place to climb another willow tree, which is the perfect size for the kids. Next, we head inside of the Nature Center into the animal room. Many of our friends know all about the animals that are inside the animal room and love to say hi to them. We've got snakes, guinea pigs, frogs and toads, turtles and prairie dogs. We like to incorporate them into some of our seasonal lessons, including learning about animals in winter and trying to find their heartbeats, or being a veterinarian.
This is the daily overview for Nature Preschool and Nature Play School. Our daily schedule is directly reflective of the weather outside. On days with heavy rain or extreme cold, we may spend more time inside, while on beautiful days, we may spend the whole time outside. To modify for COVID-19, we now try and spend as much time outside as possible, and that is typically 90 to 100% of class. Outdoor arrival activities. Our arrival takes place outside. We set up free play and guided activities that the children can move freely between. During this time, the children can participate in nature-themed activities that incorporate early literacy and number skills, fine and gross motor skills, and that encourage imaginative and sensory play. The children may engage in cooperative or parallel play with their classmates, all while we take advantage of the teachable moments like looking at bugs or jumping in puddles in our outdoor classroom. Circle time. Next, we will do our circle time. We sit on logs in a circle in our outdoor classroom. Here, we will sing our hello songs, practice our ABCs, learn about our daily topic, and engage in group activities like acting out the water cycle, pretending to be a caterpillar and emerging from our chrysalis, putting the planets in size order, and more. Often, our outdoor circle time includes a story that goes along with our daily topic. Hike. After circle, it's time to hike. Each class, our nature preschoolers and play schoolers will go on a hike. At times, we learn through exploring the pond, prairie, woodland trail, and hill. Other times, we follow guided hikes related to our seasonal themes like walking the geological timeline, looking for animals hibernating, pretending to migrate like a bird, or even counting to 10 while we jump from asteroid to asteroid. Snack. After washing our hands, it's time for snack. We'll sing our snack song and have social time with our friends. During snack, we might engage in games like Guess My Animal, rhyming games, or letter recognition games. Pre-COVID, each child was assigned a snack day and would bring snacks for the entire class to limit packaging waste. We would serve it family style in reusable containers from home. Now, with our modifications for COVID-19 and the current safety guidelines, children bring individual snacks from home. Indoor circle time. Once we come in from outside, we take all our gear off and we do a second circle time. We use this time to engage in more intensive group activities like stretching or making rain clouds in a jar. This time is also used to explain the activities we will be doing indoors. Indoor free time. In a normal year, we would utilize our classroom to engage in things like crafts and activities that need more dexterity. Finally, journals. At the end of class, we like to reflect on our day and document them in our journals. Children focus on drawing skills, letter recognition, and reading skills, with early writing skills through letter tracing. Children describe what they drew to the teacher while the teacher scribes for them. Finally, we'll gather our things and it's time for dismissal.
Wildwood has a 2-year rotating curriculum focusing mainly on nature and the world around us as the seasons change, with some exploration of other science and nature around the world topics as well. Our topics alternate each year, so students can attend the program for 2 years. So some of our fall topics and themes we'll go over in a little bit here. Some of our special events might include Come Hike With Me, Pumpkin Science in October, as well as a seasonal collaborative canvas painting. In the fall, we might do either summer in early fall or a fall themed painting in late fall. We always focus on harvest during the month of November and do a communal soup for harvest soup. And in December, we celebrate and make holiday gifts with our students for their families to celebrate the winter solstice. In the winter and spring, our special events are, again, a Come Hike With Me, as well as a collaborative canvas painting, this time either a winter or a spring canvas. We also will do campfire with the kids and using the campfire circle to make a fire and roast marshmallows. And we end our year with a special ceremony where families will join their students for a short hike and ceremony. And again, our topics mainly are about nature and science themes. We use both our indoor and outdoor classrooms as well as all of Wildwood's grounds to enhance their learning, as we will show here with some of our favorite activities from the past 2 or 3 years. Just keep in mind, a lot of these following pictures do reflect pre-COVID times. So starting with our seasonal themes. We start each school year by getting to know Wildwood Nature Center. We might explore its prairie, woodland, or pond, learning about the plants and animals that live there, as well as finding our favorite spots to play. Or we might learn about insects and get to know Wildwood by searching for bugs in the prairie, flowers, the woodland trees, under logs, or beneath the surface of the pond. We also meet Wildwood's animal room insects, residents, and we explore the different places that make Wildwood so much fun. As the fall progresses, we learn about the trees, leaves, seeds, and fall changes to the plants around us. Or we might explore nocturnal animals like bats, owls, skunks, spiders, and foxes, and the adaptations that allow them to be awake at night. In November, we explore the harvest, focusing on fruits one year and vegetables the next, focusing on how and where they grow, their colors, and who enjoys them. In winter, we learn about the new season, the snow, and the ice. We also learn about how humans prepare for winter, what clothes keep us warm as we play in the snow and explore the edges of our frozen pond. We explore animals in winter, hibernation and migration, and animal tracks, or how plants cope with winter changes, especially evergreens and their pine cones, and how they are different from plants that lose their leaves. We see what our students are curious about in science and nature for special interest topics, like space or geology, human body, doctors and veterinarians, animals of the past and dinosaurs, the rainforest, Australian animals, ocean creatures, and pirate ships. In spring, we learn about birds, nests, eggs, and migration. Or we learn about spring weather, like rain, clouds, wind, sun, and rainbows. As the weather gets warmer, we look at the life blooming around Wildwood through pond studies, looking at frogs and tadpoles, or looking at the life and metamorphosis of insects, and looking at blooming flowers, seeds, and gardening in the prairie as it grows. Some of the special events that we do include Come Hike With Me, where we invite our parents to join preschoolers in the outdoor play and the hike. Week of Halloween is Pumpkin Science Week, where we explore all things pumpkins and gourds, both inside and out. We finish our harvest unit with a group-made soup, or harvest soup. Cutting vegetables, we cook them into our special harvest soup that we enjoy together. And each semester, our preschoolers work together to create a seasonal painting with their classmates, and each student receives a small canvas to take home. Those are our collaborative paintings. We use our campfire. The students and teachers will use that campfire circle to make a fire and roast marshmallows. And our end of the year ceremony, our families will join their students for a short hike and ceremony around the campfire, celebrating their awesome year at Nature Preschool.
For fall 2021, our program offerings are our traditional Nature Preschool days and times. So we have Monday, Wednesday, Friday AM, Monday, Wednesday, Friday PM, Tuesday, Thursday AM, and Tuesday, Thursday PM. Our AM session runs from 9 AM to 11:30 AM, and our PM session runs from 12:30 until 3 PM. Our fall classes for Nature Preschool begin on Tuesday, August 31st for the Tuesday, Thursday class, and on Wednesday, September 1st for the Monday, Wednesday, Friday class. For Nature Play School, we've got our Monday AM, our Wednesday AM, our Friday AM, and our Friday PM. And again, those AM and PM sessions are the same run times. And with those classes, they begin on Wednesday, September 1st.
Thank you for joining us for our virtual tour. If you have any questions or would like to know more about Nature Preschool or Nature Play School, please feel free to contact us at the information below. You can reach out to Molly Kowalski or myself, Jenny Clausen. Thank you.